should touch a little bit more on sustainable energy. It's something that I've studied and have taken an interest in the past. I did a recent video, but it's kind of a little conflicting, so I took it down. But there's a lot of ways, in my opinion, and to go about creating sustainable energy. I've been explaining Earth's core, and essentially you can mimic that. For example, if you can melt metals down with just electromagnetism, and this is actually talking about electromagnetism, it's a good way to kind of understand like how much energy the Earth's core is producing, because if you have a bunch of molten lava down there, which is like just molten iron and stuff like that, then you know that there's that much energy. Like, and you can compare it to, like, you know, when using a welder. Like if you're welding something, you know, there's that much energy. That's a constant source of energy that keeps that metal in a liquid state, just temporarily, because that energy goes away and it cools really quickly. But that's sustained. That's all sustained down at the Earth's core. It's quite amazing, and you can calculate then like how much mass, like just even from huge volcanoes and eruptions that we're having, like how much mass is ejected. Like you could actually really calculate all this stuff just by kind of understanding that. So sustainable energy, I've talked a lot about it, multiple different ways to go around about it. So if you were to able to melt metals and different metals react, you can get them in their liquid form, you put them in tubes or something, you know, and put them in close proximity, that's going to rotate. They're going to rotate around fields, just like we see on Saturn, right? And you could block the lines to get those moving, and hopefully the metal would stay in its liquid form, and maybe not even, you could do it in solid form, and you could create friction and energy that way, or you know, you can do all kinds of things to get sustainable energy. I'll be talking way more about sustainable energy in the future. Getting really cold out here today. Yeah, geez, it's not a very good sustainable energy rant. You know, use a bunch of magnets to heat up these metals and they react. You could even enclose the metals in something that doesn't melt, and then put that in water so the water's constantly hot, and you can do all kinds of things to create sustainable energy. You know, gold, for example. I've talked about gold quite a bit in the past. And gold is a really unique substance because it's highly conductive. So you get like, you can use, you know, and I've explained before, talked about it before, but what I call the A core, which is how electrons are situated, right? So you got these energy points, and you can make them in rotating fields. You can also swap in different elements in these fields or in these places. And gold's really good because it's highly conductive. It conducts a lot of energy, so you can use gold to create stronger fields, or you know, you can create different kinds of metals, whatever reacts differently. You know, the way magnetism works is just like electrons that are lined up differently within these substances, so you just get like different, you know, put it so that there's two different kinds of metals where the electrons aren't aligned, and they're going to constantly react and create a constant source of energy. So that's just one way. And there's lots of ways to create sustainable energy. We're just putting this out there. Let's get the ball rolling, move it forward, you know. And like, you know, theoretically, if you have enough mass in there and enough energy, like if you're conducting enough energy and it's sustained through like magnetism, then you can infuse gases and stuff, which create another nuclear reaction, you know, and then you can utilize that energy. Oh, it's amazing the things that we can do, and the ways that we can develop this stuff. It's I wish I could work directly in the field rather than just doing videos like this, because I would love to. I'd love to see this come to light, and to bring sustainable energy to everybody everywhere. You know what I mean? And it's kind of what we got to do, right? We got to work together to replace our reliance on crude oil, and you know, we got to do it in a way that we work with the powers that be. We work with the businesses and the banks and everybody, right? And you know, like we can replace, and it'll create so many jobs. We can replace, you know, crude oil with other oils, and you know, like from plant life and stuff like that. And like, we can do amazing things, and we just got to come together and do it. So cheers, guys. I got to get out of here. It's getting really cold here. Someone's got to help me out. Get me a house, studio, so I can make these videos and not have to be dressed up in winter gear. Thanks, guys.